Namabuddhaya, Bhante. This is my meditation report for February 25, 2026. Yesterday, at first, I didn't know that I would be doing long samadhi, so I came back from going out in the afternoon, and Bhante told me, "Don't take rest, just focus on the Pati, listening to Dhamma talk and reading." So I did that, and counting Guru Bodhi, I recorded some voice notes, and then I was listening to Bhante and Arihant Dhamma talk, and counting Guru Bodhi as I listened, and also doing some meditation while I was doing Chankama. And yeah, then Bhante said in the chat to come go for samadhi, and then I was like quickly preparing. I'd already been thinking about, like, because I was planning to go samadhi the next day, how to use my time, but then yeah, I quickly needed to shift and prepare myself to go faster than I thought. So basically what I've been preparing is like really asking for help, and also asking all Buddhas to help protect the samadhi practice time, so that I can do it, because many times Bhante saying like maybe remove the samadhi practice, and I worry because of my sleepiness that if I don't show like improvement, then it will be removed again, or need to do standing or something like that. So yeah, I've been asking for help a lot, especially with the sleepiness, and also thinking about how to improve. And what I learned from the previous night is like that the posture is really important, and that if I can just focus on keeping the posture upright, and then that will make a very big difference in the wakefulness. And so that was one aspect, and then the other is just like yeah, I realized from the first long samadhi that I need to do more chanting, and also be more intentional, like before going into the long samadhi, have an idea of how I'm going to use my time, because once my eyes are closed, the mind is working quite differently, and the kind of like organizational mind that like earth, fire, wind mind is easier to manage when I'm doing Chankama. So that's the time for me to think, okay, how do I want to use the time? How can I be most productive? And so the things that I was considering are like how to stay awake, and then how to what to practice, and especially to practice the Mahamandala and absorbing universe prana. And partly because of that preparation, as I was doing Chankama, I was also had some like significant meditation improvement, especially around Mahamandala and absorbing universe prana, and also applying it to Bhante. And I was kind of looking at my Guru Yoga practice and thinking about how I could bless Bhante. And I'm really approaching it in sort of like a selfish way, but I think in a good selfish way, in the sense of like, I was thinking like the more that I can bless Bhante, the more that I can help Bhante to attain, like the better off that I am. And so I was like really blessing Bhante, and then also doing some Guru Yoga, just visualizing Bhante, and doing Manopuja, like doing Manopuja Namakara to Bhante, and yeah, like doing all the energy system on Bhante, and then visualizing like blessing words, sending like the mantram to Bhante's heart, and yeah, so I already was kind of like preparing in that way before I even knew that I would be going for samadhi last night, and it turned out to be good because it kind of like became like a foundation, and then I could kind of continue with that. So yeah, in terms of the sitting practice, I'm very grateful because I was able to stay awake for a lot longer than I expected, and I don't really know how long because my perception of time was very little. But yeah, I was able to stay awake and a pretty good posture, and yeah, really focus on sitting upright and mainly just like set Guru Bodhi. Nowadays, I've done so much Guru Bodhi that it can, once I like get it rolling, it can just like go automatic in my mind. Like it's even to the point where I can recite Guru Bodhi at the same time as reading or listening to Dhamma talk. I sometimes don't count those ones if it's just like going in the background, not very intentional. But it's quite like automatic. So I was reciting Guru Bodhi, and then I started with like my preparations, and then went into Mahamandala, and I haven't really done Mahamandala formally sitting with my eyes closed before last night because I didn't really have the opportunity, and I mean, I guess I could have done it like before taking rest, but I just had not done it before that way. So it was very different when I practiced it formally, and I made sure before going into the long samadhi I have all the steps memorized, and I went back over like the notes that Bhante had about Mahamandala, and yeah, so I did the cycle, and then visualize, and I connected it with Guru Bodhi. So like the Guru Bodhi is also coming from in golden letters from the Mahamandala, and then I switched to focus on observing universe prana, and I set the energy system on myself and on Bhante. And I find that when I'm near Bhante, I can it's quite like satisfying to set the Dhammachakra on Bhante, and maybe because Bhante's energy system is already very refined, it's like, and the Dhammachakra and everything is kind of like already there. It feels like setting the system on Bhante is like very natural and very effortless, and very satisfying. And I really wanted to like see from the night before, I thought even I wasn't intentionally absorbing universe prana and Bhante could still experience the benefit, like how far can I take this if I am intentional about it? So yeah, I'm kind of curious to know what is Bhante's experience last night, because yeah, I put a lot more effort into that. And so I kind of cycled that along with Anapanasati, and again continuous skeleton meditation a little bit, not so much, but just touching a few times. One thing is I'm not really so happy about my jhana practice right now. Of course I'm touching on it, and yeah, protecting that every day, but sometimes it's often quite rushed when it's in my daily practice, and when I sit down, I think that partly why I want to do more sitting meditation is because I notice that like I don't want to talk. I don't want to risk talking too much about quality, but just that the perception of light in Anapan one feeling like a bit difficult to access, and so a lot of the time when I'm doing Anapanasati, I'm just staying with in and out breath, and that was the case last night. So yeah, I think I need to ask for help and kind of just see how I can improve the Anapan. I don't want to be like too like forcing about it. Just let it happen naturally, but it is intention of mine to gradually get comfortable again with the jhana, with Anapan 1, and get comfortable staying with the perception of light. Actually, when I'm just out and about and I have my eyes open and I'm doing Shankama, the perception of light is like almost more comfortable. But something about sitting down, maybe because of having like the wrong attitude or something, then it feels like heavy to connect with the light. So yeah, I'm just continuing to work with that. And then I was kind of just doing Guru Bodhi continuously as I'm doing these other things. And as I got a little bit sleepier, then it kind of mostly became just Guru Bodhi. But that's okay. Yeah, I just cycle again and again. And I think I was able to stay awake for a few hours. I'm not really sure, but I started around just before midnight, and then so I think it was around a few hours. Then I fell asleep, and I think for not very long, but for some time, and at first not very long, and then I woke up because Bhante came, and at that time I had I can remember two very, very vivid dreams, and they're not that unusual for the type of dreams that I tend to have, but they were a lot more vivid than usual, and had some kind of different energy than usual as well. And then I woke back up, and I think around the time that Bhante took rest, I woke back up, and then I was kind of feeling wakeful again. I needed to go pee, so I got up and I went pee with my eyes closed and everything. And then I was able to stay awake for a little bit longer. I did more Mahamandala. And then eventually I fell asleep again, and then I woke up to my alarm, and I set an alarm around 6:25, and so I had a little bit of time before I needed to get up, and so I did some more Guru Bodhi, and then I did Mahamandala again in the morning before ending my meditation. And then I finished and said thank you, and then exited. Some other things are partly what was interesting last night, and this is not only last night, it's happened a little bit here and there, but I was quite surprised last night for it to happen, is like a little bit of an experience of restlessness and boredom, which for me I think is like very good, moving in the right direction, even if it's uncomfortable, because it's more on the other side of the spectrum from the sleepiness. And so even though I was experiencing that, I'm like, this is uncomfortable, but like kind of nice, because it means I'm not just like dropping into sleep suddenly. And I found that I needed to move the body a little bit. I did intentionally move in order to stay awake. I did some like sitting bamboo movement and then extending my legs a little bit. Also just to help keep the joints and everything. And yeah, but I didn't change my posture too much. Just was a little bit restless. So yeah. And then yeah, so I really feel I mentioned earlier the Iddhipada power, and I really feel like the Chanda, Virya, especially these two, developing in a way that is very powerful, and then along with the earth, fire, wind rising, I think this is what's helping me to start to improve in the wakefulness. And I know it's not going to be like linear improvement, and there may be some detox and things here and there, and I still want to do better. But yeah, another thing is when I started to feel like restless, also the body was also getting very hot, and I was surprised because usually at night I even sometimes like wear a blanket, but I felt very hot and kind of sticky. And I mean, I've partly been experiencing that because of the food and like whatever poisons we've been consuming. But yeah, sometimes I like have been getting really thirsty, but I've been trying to drink less water, and bear the heat. But yeah, last night I did feel very hot, and I drank a little bit of water, and then I felt better. Yeah. Yeah, so that's mainly from last night. And then again, actually, I didn't know whether I need to put this in this meditation report or for the next day, but I think better put now. Again, at noontime today, I had about an hour for rest, to take noon rest, and I was feeling quite wakeful when I first sat down. So I was thinking, okay, I just treat it like samadhi practice time. So I sat upright and put on the blindfold, and I just did my preparations, and then I was able to do Mahamandala one time, and then kind of stay in energy meditation for a little while, and then I fell asleep. I don't really know exactly when, but I know that I fell asleep because then I woke up at 5. So yeah, that was nice. And obviously I don't know if I want to do that every day, but I think I just figure if I'm difficult to fall asleep, then may as well go in samadhi, or at least energy meditation. So yeah, that's mainly it. There's also some developments in the also like continuing through the day today, but maybe I'll report that tomorrow. And yeah, I think that's it for now. The other thing is for tonight, I'm thinking about how to use my time better. So yeah, I want to cycle. Last night I cycled like all the way through Mahamandala 3 times total, like formally all the way through. So I want to do that more, cycle it more. And I also want to do more of like the Guru Yoga kind of practice, and maybe some more Manapuja. And the other thing is, like, now I kind of see how the posture relates to the wakefulness, and I have a better idea of how I can maybe stay awake even longer. So we'll see tonight. But I think because I can look back in retrospect now that I'm like fully awake and I can reflect on how the mind was working last night, I kind of have an intuitive sense of how I might be able to stay awake even better. So yeah, that's my meditation report for yesterday, February 25. Okay. Dhammapuja.